So, it's a pretty broad question to answer in a very short span of time. But again, if we we categorize the Indian population into three segments: the higher class, the middle, and the lower class. So the middle and the lower class are being affected very gravely. If just from a financial standpoint and an education standpoint, the services that were still available to them are getting out of picture, and they're not able to gain those services. I'll just give a very small example, right? I work with a lot of banks and NBFCs across India, and uh, a Kiryana store guy who was trying to get a loan for uplifting his business. Today, he's not sure, even at a rate of interest of 30%, if he'll be able to get that loan, because COVID era is not yet over. I mean, every financial institution is very technical and very pinpointing everything that can go wrong while doing financing. So if we also look at a different landscape, so what COVID has essentially done has also deteriorated not just our earning capacity, it has actually deteriorated the wealth of the economy as such. So, let's take an example. And this is not just because of COVID. If you look at last 5 years from the implementation of GST and then demonetization and the now COVID, it has deteriorated the wealth of a common person so much that they are really suffering right now. And I'll really, I'll try and explain that with an example. So let's say today wanted to start a business and you have a house property which is worth, let's say, 1 crore rupees. Now, from a very basic standpoint, you could have taken a loan up to 80 lakh rupees and started your business. But because of all the situations that have been happening, and India is, one country which is being tackling these situations one after the other. Now, imagine this: the property that was worth 1 crore rupees 5 years back, today it is worth only, let's say, 70 lakh, 80 lakh rupees. Now, an 80% loan on that, let's say 60 lakh rupees, is it possible for you to start a business? So, I mean, it's not just a matter of if we are losing our jobs, if we're losing our earning capacity. It's also a matter of the fact that the wealth that we and our ancestors have created is also going down. And, coming to the next era, which is coming up, we need to really look at education as a lifelong perspective. It cannot, so there is this time, so one big lie that our parents and everyone has been telling us that, you know, 10वीं तक पढ़ लो उसके बाद सब फ्री है, ठीक है, 12th तक पढ़ लो उसके बाद सब easy है. But that is
That's the
not the
normal.
case today. I mean, your actual education starts at college level. Till 12th, it's just you just getting to the place and you just realizing what you should be doing. After 12th, it's actually your lifelong learning starts. Because today, even if you look at government sector, that theory ki 12वीं tak padh lo wala concept was still, there was a very huge surge in government sector and a lot of people wanted to go there. But today, even the government sector, if you in India, we might pick up some pace in coming years. But if you look at the US market, Canadian market, or European market, they have picked up pace. They want their employees to learn. They're giving early retirements and they are letting go of people also. And I think India is on the way of creating similar strategies when it comes to government employees. That you need to be learning something new every day. Today, the generation is evolving so fast. The technologies are evolving so fast. You really need to keep pace with it. So one concept that everyone really needs to understand is it's not about learning something today. It's about learning, then unlearning it, and then relearning something new. And a professional who can do that can be the only person who can succeed in his life. So there's this new coin term called K2 pre-K2 gray education. So education today is a weapon of mass instruction, right? We've heard those weapons of mass destruction. This is a weapon of mass instruction, and that is what is needed to be embodied by each and every person uh, in their professional journey. I hope that answers that question.
No, that's very clear, sir. You very clearly shared कि parents ये बोलते थे 10वीं कर लो 12वीं कर लो. But sir, one thing is totally you can also be agreed the actual life of a student or a individual, his or her, starts after graduation only, when he
Right.
joins the industry. Because education is an umbrella where he is covered. He was
Right.
not much exposed to the industry. The day he come to this world industry, then he get more exposed, and then he learns a lot.
Right. So, right, you're absolutely right. But let's look at the organizational landscape today. Every organization, and especially because of COVID, what happened? A lot of people, a lot of recent graduates who were recruited in the company were let go. Now, the people who are getting out of colleges in the 21 batch, 22 batch, or 23 batch, they have a very huge task in front of them, because they are not just competing with their peers to get into an organization system. They are actually competing with 3 4 year previous pass outs and the up and coming pass outs as well. So it becomes very important that the students start learning from the first year of college itself. This might sound very weird or probably inappropriate at this stage, but when I joined my college in first year, I never attended classes. I was given a schedule. I went to one of the professors that I trusted a lot. He told me, Shaile, go attend this class. Baki sab theek hai. Baki tere ko aata hai. Tu seekh lega apne aap. It's fine. Go ahead and do extracurricular activities. Right now, what I did was I started joining international clubs. I started an internship along the way, and I think that's what actually helped me grow. You won't believe. I'll just tell you one tidbit. At the age of 21, 22, I was just out of BCom college, and I was still in another college, and I was doing an internship at the side, and I started a company. Right, my father didn't know about it. There was this first revenue check of 5.5 lakh that came in from Times of India, and he was shocked, like kahan se paise aa gaye, because that's what happened. And we essentially started doing marketing for Miss India organization. Now, something that happened during the last 3 years, I joined an organization like ISEC, and I started developing those event management and marketing skills, which otherwise a BCom student might not have had that opportunity, especially coming from tier two, tier three city, right? So, my actual education journey started inside as well as outside the college. Now, if let's talk from a university or a college perspective, right? The universities like Riyadh Bada University, you try and provide so many opportunities to students. At the end of the day, it's the student's role to go and grab that opportunity. So if the student is grasping that opportunity, obviously the colleges, the university is also able to bring in more services which can help them. But I mean, it is at the end dependent on the student. You cannot be just focused. I'm going to the college, I'm going to the classes, 75% attendance, and I'll be able to get placed in Google, Facebook, or Amazon. You have to put in the work. You have to develop relations. You have to develop networking. Now, coming back to the previous point, when the students, when you getting out on the market, now an organization is looking to hire people who have those skills. Now, obviously, when a student will walk into an interview room, and the students are recruiter asks them, what skills do you have? What experience do you have? These are the experiences that will help the student getting the job. Now, recruiter knows that if the guy is a fresher and he will not have relevant skills, but we have some skills which are called transferable skills, something like leadership, something called networking, something like business development, sales. These are transferable skills. And networking, you might not have a relevant experience, but if you have something to show for, then you are able to transfer those skills into your current job. Now, moving to the question where what happens once a person starts their journey. Now, if you look at it, the education market has seen a tremendous shift, which was expected to be for $440 billion across the globe. The online learning market is going to be $1 trillion market in by 2026. Now, what that shows is that learning is a continuous process. The technologies get outdated. So it's really, really essential that once a person joins a workforce, to retain that job, he needs to upskill himself constantly. Today, it
True.
is not about being relevant in the organization, but it's more about irreplaceable, right? Every time there are 10 people who are ready to take your job at any given day, right? The thing that you need to prove to an organization is that I am irreplaceable. You cannot replace me because I am learning, I'm relearning, I'm helping you grow, a- and I want you to help me grow.
That's true, sir. What you had shared is absolutely true. Sir, how you see the financial and education market post-COVID area, especially in western part of the globe?
Right. Uh, so financial sector markets, right, can be divided into. I mean, there are there are a lot of subdivisions to it. There are mutual funds, there are banking, there are NBFCs, there are fintechs now, and I will just talk about some of them because obviously it will be very difficult to cover all of them. Right. Let's talk about finance and fintech, NBFCs, and these, because banking is a structure which is very rigid and very compliant on certain regulations. But if you look at NBFC and fintechs, and also with an upcoming use case of cryptocurrency, uh, it is becoming very innovative. It's a very innovative field to be in. Fintechs are changing the landscape on how people borrow money, how they lend money. P2B platforms are changing the complete landscape on how a person can invest his money from getting a very measly return of 3 to 4% while saving money in the bank account, or let's say an FD of 5%, 6%. Today, there are debt markets where a person can get up to 10 to 11%, and then P2P markets where a person can gain up to 15, 16%. But coming back to how the finance industry is actually going to help the economy and run them. So one thing very important to note over here is the financial landscape is completely user driven, right? It is not something which can be driven by the organizations. A person has to be ready to take the financial support, which is something which uh, missing in the Indian economy, right? 90% of if you go to businessmen, they don't file proper tax returns, they don't file proper, they don't have proper banking channels, and this is one of the reasons why a lot of financial support which could be available to them is not available. Now that's one thing. The second thing is the fintechs and the NBFC market are trying really trying hard to enter into deep parts of the country. Now, for students, it is seems to be a very lucrative opportunity when you can venture into these organizations. They are really making some social impact. So even if you look at the product that we started with Riyadh Ghada University, providing interest-free education loan to the students. So today, financial institutions have started moving from a profit-making model to a social impact model. Now that is very critical. You see a lot of MFIs coming into the market today and trying to boost the people of rural community. So we actually call them helping the progressive poor, from a ticket size of 20,000 to 60,000 rupee loan available to a person who can do bi-monthly or monthly repayments within a period of 2 years at a rate of interest of not more than 14%, which is regulated by RBI in a MFI. I mean, the potential in this industry is really huge. Now, I will just touch upon one thing. You see a lot of crypto and blockchain companies coming into the market. It's still a very undefined and unregulated field. So, please be very cautious when you're investing in crypto currencies. But still, if you look at the technology that is going in there now, I'm coming towards engineering students, right? Because previously it was always thought that in a finance field is only for a person like who's doing chartered accountant or an MBA finance. But no, today the finance field is essentially more for our tech developers than for an MBA or a CA, because there's so much technology and implementation happening. The way you do a loan, again, taking an example from our own collaboration, right? We've started this interest-free education loan, all done online, a hybrid model where we can evaluate the person's income. And but the loan agreement signing and everything happens online. Now these are the technologies that are already there and which are being implemented. Think about a KYC or a PDC, all of this happening online. I mean, this is going to change the way people borrow money, people grow at the end of the day, because finance business is all about growth of the company as well as the human around it.
Okay, sir, because I belong to a fraternity of placements and I take care of corporate relations. Now, just to talk about the NBFC and the banking sector and the rural banking sector,
Right.
uh, we have seen the jobs, especially. It's a
Right.
way out of the this entire talk show. I have
Right.
seen the jobs, especially in sales, marketing, in banking sector or a financial sector.
Right.
But there is a crunch. I can say a very less jobs are on non-sales and marketing or
Right.
operational part. Okay, and students are not eager to join, or they are not willing to join a sales and marketing job.
Right.
Okay, now how you see the increase in the positions or the job opportunities for other than marketing and sales? Is this
Right.
it will increase in future or it will the same?
It will decrease. I'll tell you, for especially for new
Decrease.
campus,
Nee,
it will
you are
decrease.
saying it will decrease. Nee, because the student who are taking MBA finance, they
Right.
are more concentrated. Ki, sir, I need a job, especially on sitting. There should be no marketing, no sales. We should only do a pure banking or pure financial works.
Right.
And you are saying it will decrease.
It will decrease. And I'll tell you the reason why. Right. So let's talk about typical jobs that are available in a banking or a finance company, right? So we have obviously sales, marketing, credit, operations, accounts and finance, and then other telecalling, backend, and all those services, and then some part of IT. Now, okay, now let me give you an inference. I have about 150 jobs open across Punjab for sales and marketing guys, and I'm recruiting only freshers over there. Now, to understand the credit part, the operations part of an NBFC, you really need to understand how sales and marketing, what does the customer look like, right? So imagine yourself, you want to go to a NBFC and say, I want a credit job in your company. I want to be sitting in the office and I want to check the files. You don't know how the customers are, what my customers are, what is their profile. How can you expect to evaluate that business without being able to understand the person? And that's why sales marketing is very essential. So you will not believe, I consult a lot of NBFCs and banks, right? Till date, I will spend at least one day in the field doing sales and marketing, because when I'm doing that, I'm actually able to understand what is the lifestyle of the people. Now, let's talk about a typical customer, right? Now, a person who comes to an NBFC to take a loan, he has a poultry farm. Can a person sitting in credit understand what is the cost of a cow? What is the expense done to feed that cow on a regular basis? So it is really not possible to step into a job and start from back end, right? So either it will be such a bad job that you're not able to progress in life. Personally, I believe sales and marketing jobs are the first job that you should get, because I understand a lot of people are introvert. That's one of the reasons, and then they have family issues, or they just want to be at back end job. But in reality, to understand your customer, to understand the business, to grow in the business, right? How do you go from a 20,000 rupees job to a 2 lakh rupee job or a 20 lakh rupee job? Is by understanding your end customers, right? That's how you grow. Now, how NBFCs, how banks react, right? So now this is what we do also. So people who have 4 or 5 years of experience in sales and marketing, now we know that this person understands the market, they know the demography, and if we put them into credit, they will be able to make the right decision, or if to give or not to give a loan to a person. So yes, I am very, very bullish on the fact that the operations, the credit jobs are going to go down in the future, because look, as I said, not every person wants to do a sales and marketing job. But then these sales and marketing people, if they start over there, they also want to end up in credit. And that's what a lot of people do. If you look at any banking industry, if you look at any bank, right? For first 4 or 5 years, every banks ask every employee, even if you're in operations or credit, you have to do X amount of sales. That is embedded in your targets. So if we, because every bank, every institution, as a matter of fact, they're trying to earn an X amount of revenue per hire, right? That's the concept today. It is not that sitting at back you'll be able to do that. So again, just revising the points. One, you need to understand the market to be able to get that credit and uh, how it operates. That's one thing. The second thing is the targets are inevitable. If you want to get into a bank or if you want to get into an NBFC, you really need to sell. Just adding one last point to this conversation, every bank or an NBFC, money is their raw material. If you differentiate between a bank and any other manufacturing concern, money is the raw material. So every rupee that they have, they can. So let me tell you an RBI guideline. So RBI allows, if you have 1 rupee of equity, you can borrow 6 rupees from 7 rupees from the market. Generally, in what happens, market acceptable standard is on 1 rupee you can earn 4.5 rupees. You can, sorry, borrow 4.5 rupee or 5 rupee. Now, on every 5 or 6 rupee or 10 rupees that a person is spending, everything is a cost to them. That money can earn them money only when a person is able to make the sale. So, in an NBFC setting, if there's money that is, and again, we are lending money as well as borrowing money. So, when you have to be out there and when you're costing the company something, and if there is a dead weight, and if the sales are not happening, then it's a very huge problem, because you're actually costing the company not just manpower or the cost for a person. You're actually costing the company uh, the loss in interest that they have to give to the investors as well.
Okay. Means the student, the MBA, especially I'm talking about the MBA students who have
Right.
the specialization in finance, they have to start their career as per Chalet. They have to start their career with sales and marketing so that they can well versed with the industry. In future, slowly and slowly they move to the operation part. Because Chalet, I will just give an example, because my Hoshiarpur campus,
Right.
Yadbara Institute of Engineering and Nanotechnology, I got a call from the campus, Chandramohan ji and Dhami ji. They told me ki this employment youth organization, employment office of Hoshiarpur want to do a job fair, especially for banking sector.
Right.
Then I shared, yes, sir, I have jobs in marketing and sale. I have floated at 40, 50 jobs. But suddenly, the next morning, they told me ki the organization, employment exchange, need jobs in operations only.
Right.
I said, sir, I said very clearly, sir, sorry, what I have studied the market and what I collected these requirements from the industry, no one is ready to give the operations job. All are ready to give only sales and marketing job.
Right.
This is the
So
example of Punjab I am telling. And this is a true example for entire industry also right now.
Right. So look at any MBA college. I think 90% of the jobs that come inside the campus are all marketing sales related. I don't think there are more than 10% jobs that are going to HR or finance departments, because it's not there. They're already market experts who are sitting to grab that job. For a new entrant into the industry, you need to find the place where you can fit the most and where you can benefit the company, and that's what the company is looking to hire you for. Grind. So we have these two terms called grind and hustle, right? And this is something very important. You want to okay, so from a personal life, I want to really really grind and hustle for next 10, 15 odd years, and then I will also relax. If you're looking for a job which, from day one you're able to relax and sit at home and or sit in office. Today work from home is a big thing, but if the company and the organization is not sure that you'll be able to perform at a particular standard, then that's a big problem. What happens in sales and marketing especially is you develop and inculcate a culture of working hard, and that's what every organization is looking for. The organization is not hiring you for 1 year, 2 years, because I understand for the candidate it's very usual that I'll work in a company for 1 year, 2 year and then switch over. but the organization wants to grow and they want to grow with the people that they have. So a person who's getting into and who's able to generate business, they may be a lifelong person in the company. So you won't believe in a lot of times. So Empower Youth as an organization, we've made it a rule. 95% of my employees joined me as an intern, right? And most of them were unpaid interns. My CTO, the head of technical sector, right? Now, this is not sales and marketing, but yes, he joined me as an unpaid intern. He worked with me for 1.5 odd months. Then I started his salary. He's heading the department today within a period of 2 years. The reason is every company is looking for people who can really work hard, who can hustle, who can learn something new, who can give back to the organization. So, coming out of an MBA college, I I would love that if we have more operations credit jobs, especially for some students, especially for a lot of female students, because there are certain restrictions why they cannot get into a sales and marketing job. I understand that, but that's what the reality of the market is today, and I believe that is going to be the reality of the market in the up and coming time. Also, just to touch one subject over here, right? uh, Call centers and calling jobs, right? These are again marketing and sales jobs, and a lot of us try and shy away from it. I understand it seems to be a faux pas in the industry, because traditionally telecall centers were something very different. So to all the students who are listening to me right now, uh, calls, right? These calling jobs are not the traditional telecalling jobs. A lot of IT companies, a lot of NBFCs, a lot of finance companies are giving these kind of jobs. Please do take those opportunities, join the workforce. You will learn so much, and then you can get to whatever kind of job in marketing jobs or sales jobs or operations or credit. Because if you look at the current situation where work from home has become a trend, we do not want people interacting with people physically. It's not that it's not desirable, it's not possible. Also, if you look at from an organizational angle, a person can do probably 8 video calls a day, but when he goes to a physical meeting, he cannot meet more than 3 clients. So these calls and video calls and all these kind of jobs are really really interesting, and you should really explore on how to get better in these, because this is the trend which is going to pick up. As I said earlier, the 440 billion education industry, education technology industry is going to be $1 trillion industry, and this seems to be a very good place where you can be. I know a lot of us put a lot of reels on Instagram and Snapchats and all that, but it's very different to be in front of a camera and talking to a client and pitching them your idea, in comparison to the reels and the re-reels, or I don't know, I never use them, but yes, what we do. So please be looking out for all of these kind of opportunities. Start your internships, uh, if possible, from first day of college, or at least during the vacations that you have.
Well, I just want to share something to my viewers, to you also. From 2009 till 2015,
Great.
it's a huge period of 6 years. At the peak time, there is no COVID, nothing. That time I enjoyed work from home for 6 years.
Right.
And that was a time when what I feel the productivity, when I'm working with the other organization, the productivity ratio is much more high from work from home. That's
Right.
you had said very true, very clearly. I agree. So now, Shailin, now we come to back to the thing for the education. We talked about placements only. What are the job opportunities in the financial sectors? We talked about this. Now, sir, what your organization, Empower Youth Foundation, is supporting in this post-COVID era to the students who are willing to learn. You talked about the learning part. The learning has increased. Now, those who are ready to learn, but due to this COVID era, the financial crunches are there within every family. Some issues are there. How
Right.
your organization and foundation is supporting, Shalini?
Right. So let me tell you what exactly our platform does, and then you'll be able to the audience will be able to understand it better. We've already had a lot of discussions around it, right? So we see in India there are about 10,000 edtech platforms, right? There are so many opportunities out there. Uh, okay, let me go back and look at from a different angle, right? So today, if we look at it, what happened with COVID-19 is there is a very huge boost, and it's going to be a very good thing for city tier two, tier three, tier four markets, right? Because work from home is becoming a culture, and which is going to stay for a very long time. If you look at the past history, uh, anytime a disaster like COVID-19 has happened, it has changed the industry and it has remained the same way for years and years to come. And this is what is going to happen today. Now, if it, coming back to the T2, T3 markets, the biggest gap that was existing over this side was that there were not enough opportunities. I will take my example in this instance. So I did my 6th, 7th from a hostel. I came back to Jalandhar. 11th, 12th, I did again go to a hostel in Delhi, college back here, then PGDM from London School of Economics, etc., etc. Right. So one thing that was always available to me, and something my parents always gave me an option of, was to explore a lot of opportunities, right? And that's what the primary years of your life has to be about: exploring different options, exploring opportunities. There are 10,000 plus edtech platforms in the country today, and which offers so many different products and services to the students, how they can grow into their professional life and keep on growing throughout the period. What there was missing in the market was the T2, T3 markets were not being given those opportunities. It was inaccessible by them. So one thing that we did was we brought all those services directly onto our campuses, directly onto our platform. So everything that goes, as sir knows that, anything that goes on my ecampus.in, which is the registered platform with Riyadh Bari University, actually is being approved by the college's administration, university's administration. So students really can be worry free of whatever services are coming from there. Let it be campus placement or internship, or I'm sorry, or jobs, or any online course, etc., or an education loan, as a matter of fact, right? So that was one thing that we thought about doing, bringing those opportunities to uh, colleges, universities that are existing in smaller towns, because obviously we don't enjoy the same luxury as a Delhi, Mumbai, Bangalore, right? Now, the next thing that we saw was, even though we bring all those services over here, the problem still remains that a lot of students are not able to afford them. Excuse me. Are not able to afford them because, again, accessibility of education is one problem. The bigger problem is the financial burden that comes along with it. So what we partner with various banks, various NBFCs, all RBI registered. We don't work with anyone else. So that is one thing. But yes, so with that, we took an approval from your university, and we're offering those to the students. So now you don't really have to worry about paying the fee upfront, which can be a very big problem for a lot of people. The institutions are also at a very ease, because they are waived out of the headache of collection, etc., and they can really focus on one thing, and one thing they do the best, that is providing quality education and learning environment to the students. We take care of those things with because of the platform. What we're able to do is we're bringing, for example, different boot camps and other courses to the university, and the students can really opt in for that. They can have alternative financing options during the course period, post course period, obviously all being regulated by university and how it operates. So that's what the platform essentially does. So again, just to put it in one line, so this is world's first platform that is doing it. It's not a copy, uh, let's say, of an Amazon or a Flipkart was, right? This is the first time anywhere in the globe this is happening. We are the world's first edtech marketplace, helping your end-to-end journey. Also, again, you can think of us simply like a Make My Trip in education space, where all the services are coming to your doorstep. You just need to pick up where you want to go in life and start availing the services. We'll take you there. Uh, I think that summarizes the platform. Sir, I can't hear you.
Shelley, if someone
Yeah.
want to connect with you,
Right.
will he or she has to just share his or her detail on your website, or any other mode is also there?
So, I mean, anyone can connect with me anytime using my mail, or LinkedIn is one of the ways to connect with
Your
me. I
organization to get the facility of
Okay,
to get the facilities of your foundation.
right. So, myecampus.in, you just need to go log in there, select Riyadh Bada University or Bada University or Riyadh Bada Hoshiarpur campus, whichever is your institution where you're studying. Once you click that, your information goes back to your TPO or the administration in charge, and you start availing services. I mean, it's as simple as that. It's also there on your university's website. You can click over there and directly jump onto the platform, or just log on to myecampus.in.
E-campus. E-campus. Okay, Shall we have a tradition in my our talk show where guest
Right.
has to summarize the entire talk show in 2 to 3 lines, because we are in the last phase of our talk show. I request if you can just summarize the entire talk show in your way.
Oh, that seems to be a bit of a tough job. I mean, I'll just share my experience with the talk show, right? Uh, it's been a great experience being here. I mean, these are the topics which, I mean, a lot of universities, a lot of educators should be talking about. They really shy away from these topics because somehow they think, it might hamper the kind of message they would want to portray. But again, so you're doing a great job. I mean, our at the end goal is to empower the students and helping them grow in life. I mean, we're not trying to run a course here. We're trying to better the lives of the people. That's what I believe. Chancellor sir also stands for. I can, going away from what I experienced with the talk show. I'll share. When we first reached out to sir and we were talking about the
Before telling
education loans.
anything, I will just interrupt for one thing. I will interrupt
Sure.
for one thing. Today is the birthday of Chancellor sir.
I'll message him for sure.
We talk
That's
about
great.
Chancellor, that's why I
Right.
just want to update to my
Right.
viewers also. Today is the birthday of our visionary Sardar Gurudev Singh Baraji, and
Right.
what I can say more, because he's a legend.
Let me. Although I've interacted with him fairly less, one thing that stuck with me, and obviously that's what my organization also stands for. But whenever we had couple of meetings before we signed an agreement and we started working with the university, one thing that he said specially, चले बाकी सब जो मर्जी है ठीक है जो मर्जी कर लो ठीक है किसी बच्चे को किसी भी चीज की नुकसान नहीं होना चाहिए किसी को किसी चीज का हार्म नहीं होना चाहिए. And I mean, that is such a big commitment. I've been meeting so many chancellors, so many principals, so many educators in the last 1 year. And I've done a numerous number of assignments apart from the education technology platform that also I do. Uh, these words, I mean, the end thing that he said to me, do whatever, empower my students, help them out, don't let anything bad happen. And that's one vision that I feel is driven through the organization, through all the universities, colleges that are a part of the group. And I think I see that in most of the educators out there, most of the administrators out there. And that's a commendable job that the university is doing. And I guess that's the reason why we are able to do so many things which are very different from others would be able to do, right? Every time, I interact with a lot of colleges and university. I interact, I think, most with Riyadh Bada University because they're always coming. This is the problem we are facing. How can we help the students this way or that way? And I think that's the kind of approach that a lot of educators should have and need to have.
Thanks, Challe, for joining us for this talk show and giving us a time from your busy schedule to talk to our students, talk to the upcoming students, and sharing what Empower Youth Foundation is doing and how you are supporting after post era of this COVID, and how in which ways you are supporting the students who are really want to go ahead with their education and or higher education. Thanks, Challe, for joining us. Thanks,
Thank you, sir.
viewers, for joining on this talk show. Today, we have discussed many points with Shaile regarding what are the job opportunities in the banking sector, the finance sector, how the economy is moving India and the international of the other world after this post-COVID area, how the education is impacting, and how his organization, Empower Youth Foundation, is supporting the students and their parents for education. Thanks for joining us. Thanks everyone. Thanks Shailya. Thanks viewers.
Thank you. Great being here. And we'll join soon
Thank you.
again whenever possible.
Sure, sir.